You have been here before. Not in this room, not in this building, but somewhere, in the back of your mind, there's a place you remember. Yellow walls, fluorescent lights, the smell of old carpet. No windows, no doors, no exit. And somewhere in the distance, something is moving. You don't know this place, but your body does. And it is terrified. Tonight, we go somewhere you have already been. Somewhere between reality and dream. Between memory and nightmare. Tonight, we enter the Backrooms, Arcana late-night TV. We broadcast what others won't. Chapter 1. The Image That Started Everything. In 2019, an anonymous user on an internet forum posted a single photograph. There were no people in it. No dramatic lighting. No monsters. Just a room. Yellow walls. Stained carpet, fluorescent lights humming at maximum brightness, empty office partitions stretching into the distance. The kind of room you might walk through on the way to somewhere else. The kind of room nobody ever notices. But people noticed this one. The response was immediate. Thousands of people said the same thing. I have been here. I have seen this place. In a dream. Someone replied with a caption that would change the internet forever. If you're not careful and you Noclip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the Backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you. That was it. That was the entire story. And it terrified the world. Chapter 2. The Place That Shouldn't Exist. What exactly are the Backrooms? In the original lore, they are what happens when you Noclip out of reality. Noclip is a video game term. It refers to a glitch that allows a player to pass through solid walls, to fall out of the game world entirely, and end up somewhere. The game was never designed for you to be. The Backrooms are that place. The space behind reality. The void between the walls of the world. Level 0, the original Backrooms, is described as approximately 600 million square miles of identical yellow rooms. No windows, no exits, no signs of other humans. Just the hum of fluorescent lights, and the distant sound of something you cannot see. As the lore expanded, new levels were added. Level 1, a vast industrial warehouse. Level 2, a maintenance corridor stretching forever into darkness. Level 3, electrical stations with no beginning and no end. Some levels are described as peaceful, nostalgic even. A swimming pool at night, a suburban neighborhood at dusk, a hotel lobby in the early morning. But even the peaceful levels have something wrong with them. The pool is empty of people. The neighborhood has no stars. The hotel lobby has no doors. And in all of them, somewhere in the distance, something is always moving. Chapter 3. The Psychology. Here is the question that nobody asks. Why does an empty room terrify us? The backrooms tap into something ancient, something hardwired into the human brain long before the internet existed. Psychologists call these spaces liminal spaces. Liminal comes from the Latin word for threshold, a place of transition, a place you pass through but never stay. A hallway, a stairwell, an airport at 3 a.m., a school corridor in summer. These places are designed to be empty. They exist only to connect other places. They have no purpose of their own. And when you find yourself alone in one of these spaces, your brain does something strange. It tells you something is wrong. Evolutionary psychologists believe this response is ancient. Our ancestors learned that empty, enclosed spaces with no escape routes were dangerous. Predators hid in places like this. Getting trapped meant dying. So when you see an empty corridor stretching into infinity, your body doesn't see an office building. It sees a trap. But there is something else. The backrooms trigger what psychologists call nostalgic dread. The yellow walls, the fluorescent lights, the stained carpet. These are images from childhood, from the backrooms of supermarkets, from school corridors, from the offices your parents worked in. Familiar, safe, comforting, but empty, endless, wrong. The backrooms take the familiar and make it a prison. And that combination, nostalgia and dread, is perhaps the most unsettling feeling a human can experience. Chapter 4: The Boy Who Made It Real. In January 2022, a teenager uploaded a 9-minute video to YouTube. He was 16 years old. He had taught himself 3D animation software. And he had built the backrooms. Not described them, not illustrated them. Built them. The video was shot in found footage style, shaky camera, no music, no narration. Just a person walking through endless yellow corridors, while something in the darkness grew closer. It now has over 74 million views. Critics called it the scariest video on the internet. Hollywood came calling. At 24, the studio behind some of the most acclaimed horror films of the last decade acquired the rights. The teenager who taught himself animation in his bedroom is now directing a major motion picture. But here's what is interesting about that. For years, the power of the backrooms was that it had no official version, no canonical story, no correct interpretation. It was a collective fear, shaped by millions of people who all recognized the same dread. Now Hollywood will give it a story. Characters. A beginning and an end. And something about that feels like losing something. Because the original backrooms had no end. That was the point. Chapter 5: The Real Backrooms. In 2024, the original photograph was finally traced. It was taken in 2002, in a furniture store in Wisconsin, during renovation work. A completely ordinary photograph taken by a completely ordinary person, documenting completely ordinary construction. And yet, millions of people looked at that photograph and felt something ancient and dark stir inside them. They recognized it. Not the specific room, not the specific building, but the feeling. The feeling of being somewhere you shouldn't be, of having gone too far, of knowing with absolute certainty that you need to find a way out, but there is no way out. That is the real horror of the backrooms. Not the monsters, not the entities, not the endless corridors, The real horror is that somewhere in your mind, this place already exists. It has always existed. And one day, when you're not careful, you might Noclip into it. The Backrooms began as a photograph, a single image of an empty room that nobody could explain. It became a story, a film, a cultural phenomenon. But more than any of that, it became a mirror that reflects something we all carry inside us. The fear of being lost, the fear of being alone, the fear of a place with no exit, and no one coming to find you. Check under your bed tonight, lock your doors, and whatever you do, don't Noclip. Follow for more dark stories every week. This has been Arcana Late Night TV. We'll be here long after midnight.